Hey everybody, ronarray here, and GG just can't stop buffing my bear build. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the latest patch note which is currently making my speed bear build even more amazing than before. Right now, it's a huge quality of life change which a lot of people probably missed. Let's go, and I will be able to explain how it's working, what changed, and how we can utilize it even better right now to make the bear build even stronger, even faster, and much better to play. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you appreciate such quick updates based on the patch notes and all the new information that we're receiving. And let's go. So first, let's focus on the positives. In the patch notes, GG added a little thing that initially been missed from 0.4c patch notes. Fixed the bug where Rampage would ignore movement speed changes at the start of the skill, and fixed the bug where Rampage would sometimes stop after collision. So after that small change, it's only one short line. Rampage currently can't be stopped almost at all. In 99% of the cases, you can just run with Rampage anywhere. You can run into a wall, you can run into monsters, you can run practically anywhere, and if you are holding the Rampage button, you will keep running. So at the moment, I played about 10 hours of gameplay after the patch, and I've been stopped in my Rampage about once in 10 hours. And the only situation that currently can stop you if you run directly into the Abyss Pit, which has some particular collision and which can stop you theoretically. But everything else is not going to stop you at all. I'm showcasing the gameplay on my screen right now while I'm running through monsters, when I'm running into a wall, and I keep running. That's such a big quality of life buff for the Rampage that I believe it's making Rampage is one of the most amazing movement speed skills, because before you needed to practically pilot the skill, so run around the monsters, be more careful with that. But right now you can just click the button and run in the direction of the enemies until you have rage. So those changes also leading to some changes in the build, because right now we just can constantly Rampage without stopping, which is a very good thing. And another thing is just a bug where Rampage would ignore movement speed changes at the start of the skill. That change is not affecting us much, but right now the old bug with werewolf form that we used before, when you're just swapping into werewolf, dashing and immediately casting the Rampage, not working anymore, which is going to lower our speed a little if you've been using it. However, I feel like that bug been very unpleasant to use because you need to constantly change forms, and I don't really believe it's necessary for the skill to be viable or for the skill to be high quality of life. So I almost never used it myself, and I never felt a lot of difference after that change. But the collision change is absolutely amazing and making mapping with Rampage significantly easier. So if you haven't seen my build or you thought that Rampage is not working that amazingly well, you can retry it after the patch, and I'm absolutely sure you're going to get much more satisfied with how it's working. There is also another change coming in the patch which is affecting Walking Calamity. So large meteors from Walking Calamity will now prioritize targeting bosses if possible, which is pretty good because there will be like bigger chance for large meteor to hit the boss. And reduce number of meteors that fall during Walking Calamity when a low amount of enemies are nearby, and increase the number of meteors per nearby enemy by 50%. That part should help us a lot with additional clear on top of the Rampage when we already have the Walking Calamity up, since more enemies will lead to more meteors right now. And Walking Calamity quality now provides buffs that grants 10% of damage against as fire damage. So I think that's probably the biggest change for the build, because at the moment we're more of a Rampage build than Walking Calamity build. And Walking Calamity is just a supportive skill in that setup. I believe that 10% of additional fire damage for Rampage is going to be a very good buff, especially since Rampage could pretty often just last longer than Walking Calamity itself. And Walking Calamity right now will not provide large meteors more often. So that change should affect the boss damage a little. It's hard to say right now, is it a very small buff or a very small nerf, but in general those changes should kinda outweigh each other, so less large meteors, but it will be easier for large meteors to hit bosses, and more meteors will practically not go to waste. But I believe that 10% of damage gained as fire, which we can use for Rampage, is absolutely insane and is going to boost our damage even further with the Rampage and other boosting skills. So generally, I consider the Walking Calamity change a slight buff at the moment, even if damage from Calamity itself could go a little down. So how those changes are going to affect the build? At the moment, I believe that there's a few things that should be addressed. First off, I believe that there is a big point to use Idol of Ishtar in the helmet, because increased cost efficiency is going to make our Rampage last longer. And since Rampage currently can't be properly stopped and you will keep running it, I believe getting more efficiency is a very good idea. So Idol of Ishtar could make your quality of life higher. If you used Tazamoto Soul Core for additional rage before, you can try to replace it with Idol of Ishtar and see if your Rampage is going to be longer and more comfortable. So next step is also investing in the price of freedom. At the moment, I'm not exactly sure if 15% of increased cost efficiency for Rampage worth 4 points that we are going to practically waste, since to the right is like skill mana cost converted to life cost, and to the left is increased life regeneration rate. So I'm still testing that passive, but that could be a very big part of making the Rampage to last even longer. Wait for the next build update for the bear build, when I'm going to provide more information on how good it's working at the moment. But at least Idol of Ishtar, which is just replacing one rune, is absolutely perfect. If you can afford Helmet with double runes, you can use both Tazamoto Soul Core and Idol of Ishtar. Both of them are limited to 1. So in that case, you can just run both at the same time, which is probably going to be the easiest part to get like both bonuses without losing anything. And the next step is just a movement speed. So after they changed the bug with Lunar Assault when you're swapping to wolf form to become faster, I believe it leads us to even a bigger point and bigger necessity to invest into movement speed even further. So that's what I'm going to do in the next update, and I will try to push the base movement speed even higher to make the build even faster, especially since Rampage at the moment is crazy comfortable. And the last step is probably going to be AoE, because at the moment I believe that just buffing AoE from additional nodes such as Reverberating Impact is going to make Rampage in general much comfortable. So in the next few updates and after some tests, I'm going to add all information and the best possible setups that I will play myself to the guide, and probably will do a separate video about that too. But at the moment, Bear is looking absolutely amazing, and after those changes the gameplay is significantly more comfortable, because your Rampage is not stopping at all. And I consider those changes a very big buff, and I'm absolutely sure that build is going to perform much better for everybody who's playing it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. ronarray out.